to respect the sacredness of the African woman's vagina. No, I'm going to go real rap. Real rap. We must respect the sanctity and the sacredness and the divinity of the black woman's vagina. We must do that. Because if I look back, the situation I'm going through right now, brothers, I'm talking to my unapologetically African anti-snow bunny males right now. I'm talking to my unapologetically African anti-snow bunny males. The situation I'm going through right now is because at that time, 14 years ago and 23 years ago, I did not have the respect for the sacredness of the black woman's vagina like I should have. And the universe punished me for it. I'm being honest right now, family. Black queens, are you with me? I can admit to the black woman right here, right now in Los Angeles, the reason I'm going through what I'm going through is 14 years ago and 24 years ago, I didn't have the level of respect for the black woman's vagina that I have now. So I know that this is karma. This is karma. Even though I was done wrong, I could have never been done wrong if I didn't do wrong. Let me say it again. If I would have made better decisions, black men, young kings, listen to me, young kings. Listen to me, young kings. I don't want you to go through what I'm going through. I don't want you in a situation where your babies are kept from you because you didn't wife out. I don't want that. So you must respect the sacredness of your Shango stick. I'm not.
Oh my God. I've never seen anybody lose credibility this quickly over something that we didn't even think was relevant to him at the time that we discovered him. Real talk, straight up. I've never seen somebody fall so quickly. And a lot of people thought that it was going to come as a result of the finessing for the school. It didn't come that way. It came from within. It came because something that he started, in his words, 23 years ago, came back to bite him. Came back to attack him. And so all of this pandering that he's been doing, because I largely believe that cancel culture is over. I don't think that anybody can be canceled at this point. That was a trend that was happening, but boy, losing support and having to try to pander and do damage control and pander over to black women after you basically told guys that they need to mobilize and get themselves in a position to come and battle your queens. And that I believe was the straw. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. It wasn't the final straw because I don't believe that Umar Johnson will never not have a level of support. There are some people, same type of people that attach themselves to the Democratic Party and the Democratic plantation. There are some people that's always, from the time that you're born to the time that you die, you've been programmed to think a certain way. You've been programmed to think that white people are bad. You've been programmed to think that whatever. And so whoever it is that scratches that itch until somebody else comes along and replace it, as long as he continues to put out content, because I've always believed that Umar Johnson is nothing more than a content creator. As long as he continues to put out content, he'll always have somebody somewhere, and I think that he's funny enough and entertaining enough to where he'll always be able to be a content creator. However, the pandering, bruh, take your L, go and fix your relationship with your family and your daughter, and make things right with the people that surround you. And that way you ain't continuing to be like, if he stopped talking about this, then he'll be able to move on from it. A new story will then be able to show itself. People ain't going to be really checking for it. You can go back to pandering and doing whatever it is that you want to do. But the fact that he keeps talking about it over and over and over and over and over again is going to be the reason that people keep paying attention to it. And so if he just shut up, like honestly, if he just shut up for 5 seconds and stop talking about it, everybody know what the story is. Everybody know that you took your L. Now he's trying to pander and fix the situation because he got emotional and basically told black guys, black men, that they need to mobilize against black women, who was his largest supporters, And, he's calling her baby Smurf and mama Smurf and all of that. He's in full-blown damage control at this point. Full-blown damage control.
I'm not going to respond to the silly questions in the chat because a lot of these questions were already answered in previous lives, so I'm not going to respond to you. Go watch my previous lives. Silly questions like, did you go to court for custody? That's a silly question. That's a silly question. Of course I went to court for custody.
Work at Starbucks.
But if you don't obey the custody order, custody don't mean nothing. If you don't obey the custody order, custody don't mean nothing. But I want to stay where I am right now. I want to stay where I am. I don't want the beta male brigade to distract me from what I'm saying, because
first he was calling on the alpha males to help him. Now it's the beta male brigade when they ask him questions because he's going live talking about his situation again.
I'm confessing my sins before the African woman. I'm confessing my sins before the throne of the divine African feminine. And the reason I can confess my sins at the throne of the divine African feminine is because I have such a great relationship with my mother, and I had great relationships with my grandmothers. You see, so
but he don't have a great relationship with his daughters and his daughters' mothers. Okay.
Protected by divine feminine and divine masculine energy. See, if I didn't have the relationship with my mother and my grandmothers that I had, rest in peace to my grandmothers, I'd be calling my baby mamas all kind of bees, and I'm not, no crash out.
Baby Smurf and Mama
no
Smurf.
Crash out.
You crash
no
out.
crash out.
Definitely crash out.
Because of my great relationship with women and with my mother, and that I had with my 2 late grandmothers, that's why I don't crash out over this. I know black women can behave better. I know that. I'm just confessing that back then, before I became the prince, before the world would know my name. See, both of my babies were conceived before I blew up. That was divine design.
So you telling me that you need popularity and accountability that's being held by children that are already grown at this point to hold you accountable in order for you to take responsibility of being a father that you're supposed to be with women that you had children out of wedlock with that you should not have been. And I wonder, when you became the prince and you blew up, are you still refraining from having intercourse with women that are not your wife? With the divine energy. I got to take what Umar says in doses because, you'll start cracking up, you'll get distracted, it'll be hilarious, and then it'll go from there. Anyway, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Let me know if you think that Umar Johnson is pandering so that he can try to shore up or do damage control for his female base, or if you're actually rocking out with the Prince of Pan-Africanism. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.